digital PR has rapidly become one of the most talked about and effective tactics for SEO, AI SEO, and wider marketing pushes. It's set to continue that momentum in 2026, becoming even more important for the most exclusive links, coverage, and SEO results possible. But how will it evolve? And what will truly set aside the great DPR campaigns from the forgettable ones in 2026? I sat down with Leah Daly, fatjoe's digital PR manager, to talk through her predictions for digital PR in 2026. She's led numerous brand-boosting SEO superstar campaigns for fatjoe clients, and she's here to share her wisdom for where DPR is headed in the coming year.
Okay, thanks Leah so much for joining me. I know it can be pretty busy with all of the news, the non-stop world of news. So thank you very much for taking a bit of time out of your day to sit down with me.
Not at all. It's good to sit down and have a little chat about what we're going to see coming in 2026.
Yeah, awesome. So already got the intros out of the way, so might as well not delay. Do you want to kick off with your first prediction for DPR and SEO in 2026?
Perfect. So I definitely think we've seen a bit of this last year, but I think PR will further split into two clear lanes. So you're going to have your more brand-led creative PR, think more out of the box campaigns, longer lead times for results. And then you're going to have your performance led digital PR. So a lot of that reactive, expert led kind of quick turnaround, which is proving a bit more difficult with journalists and lead times recently. But I still think there's going to be a big push on that, because obviously a lot of clients out there want quicker results. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely, I would say kind of on our SEO side of things, the latter, that performance-based DPR is really what we're seeing at the moment. Obviously, the big agencies, they can snap up your Red Bulls and your brand monsters like that, and it's kind of DPR in a bit of the old school kind of way, like the sort of here's actual kind of PR with all the set campaigns and that. But that reactive side of things, I think that's super interesting. You say it's getting a little bit sort of harder. Why would you be saying that? Have you found it harder 2025 into 2026?
Yeah, so I think with reactive PR, obviously it kind of had a big jump out in the last year. So you see more and more agencies getting involved with it. So the hard aspect of it is the more competition, and also people wanting quicker results. With reactive PR, you do kind of have that quicker edge. Yeah. Because obviously it's reactive. But even with it now, you lead times are getting longer and longer. So I feel people are going to be pushing on it more competition for it. So it's just going to be that little bit harder. But with digital PR, it's going that way anyway. But
yeah. Are you finding there's a sort of, with particularly outlets, the number of outlets shrinking? It's not just a UK phenomenon. Obviously, can speak better for the UK with a lot of, whilst reach is still dominant in the space, a lot of kind of local news really has tightened up. Instead of being a town, it will be the city news, or if not the city news, it'll be the county news. So is that kind of affecting that side of things as well, would you say?
Yeah, I think it is, but in a way it is kind of helpful if you are targeting a couple of regions, that you don't have to niche down as much.
Okay, yeah.
Your data. But I think it does kind of make things tougher again, because it's a same pool, if not a bigger pool of PRs going for a smaller pool of journalists.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, so with the reactive, is there anything particularly, like I say, we're focusing on reactive just because it's sort of more what we do here at fatjoe compared to your big campaigns. We can cover them off in a sec as well. But with the reactive, is there any kind of sort of top tip, kind of sneaky, this is what we're most seeing as repeatable, even if they are kind of getting a bit tougher? Is there a bit of a go-to that you and the DPR team can use to, that would probably be our banked winner?
Definitely, in terms of niches or story types, because if we were going story type, obviously your expert comments are always going to be a winner. So if your client has any expert in the business that's willing to work with you, I feel that kind of gives you that extra tone, rather than having someone more general like their marketing manager or something like that. So just ensuring that your expert is a legit expert, getting to know the ins and outs of them. Because especially in this age of AI written content and stuff as well, I think journalists really value being able to look up the expert themselves, find them on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
All that jazz.
I'm honestly just surprised it's taken this long for AI to be mentioned, really. I mean, probably could have kicked off just AI. There's the prediction.
There we go. Yeah, it's definitely making things much harder. It's kind of, I'm quite happy that we've kind of been in the space for a while, and like journalists and stuff would kind of know of you in the fact that they know that your stuff is legit. Because I feel like as a new DPR coming into it, I feel like it's so difficult to cut above the noise now with all of the AI content going out there. It's yeah. I think reputation really matters as well, but we can get onto that in a while.
Yeah, definitely. So just to kind of loop it back to the essentially the start of the prediction there of it diverging into those two channels, being the sort of the big brand campaigns versus the sort of performance aspect of it. Definitely super interesting. I think that'll be an interesting one to see where whether there's any kind of different, say, even like terminology comes up around it, or obviously again, just linking back to kind of the work that I do with the SEO side of our business, the idea of PR being quite broad. Actually, we're talking in terms of digital PR, but we might have someone kind of land on the page and we're doing performance campaigns, but they might, initially, obviously we try to help them out, but they might come in thinking that it's going to be a full-on brand activation, billboards and that kind of thing, and
which in its own lane is amazing to work on. Like in previous jobs I have worked on that as well, but that's not what we do here. Like we're quick, fast. We want to be super relevant with what we put out there for you as well. But I think the name of the game for us is definitely speed, which is it's difficult in this day and age, but we're making it work.
Super interesting on how those two are going to diverge though, which trying to stand out for that performance led kind of channel. I think that kind of would lead into not to go ahead, but possibly your second prediction.
So my second prediction is about measurement. So when it comes to whether it's performance led or whether it's brand led, because we're kind of seeing less and less agencies. I actually I put a poll up on LinkedIn during the week just in preempt for this, so we could have a bit of backing behind me and see what people were actually monitoring and reporting onto their clients. So I had like whether it was links, whether it was coverage and brand mentions, whether they're doing a combination, or now we're seeing a lot of like the amount of podcast opportunities that are coming into my inbox on the daily is so strange. How we go from like sharing an article to actually, which is nice because obviously they want to meet the people and it could lead to other adventures for them. So we do share that with the clients, but we kind of stay away from that on our side. But even like actual print coverage and stuff like that, are people reporting on this? Does it matter to their clientele? Like, because I think in the grand scheme of things, it all does matter to them as a brand, which is more traditional PR, not what we're doing. So personally at fatjoe, we report on links. We have a link KPI for all our clients, which you know of, but we also share the coverage and brand mentions as well, because they can be equally as important, depending on the niche and where we get them featured, and even the kind of anchor text around them and stuff there as well. So but on my poll, a lot of people are actually just reporting coverage and brand mentions. So I think that that's interesting. But that also ties back into the more like brand-based PR, which they're obviously not going to be able to, if they're spending all their time like creating this big stuff, it's going to be like, it might not take as quick a time to like land a couple of links. Maybe it'll be more like coverage or actual feedback from the journalists and kind of back and forth like that. So I think the two different like PR disciplines, as we mentioned, like will be measuring differently. Well, that's how I do think it is going to go this year. Like for the case of us, it's going to be still link-based performance because that's just how we operate. And then for other more creative campaigns and stuff, I think coverage and brand mentions is still obviously important, but they'll also be kind of reporting on additional avenues that they can go down with their clients.
Cool. So in terms of sort of like a pithy pull down of the prediction there, would you say it's sort of brands and those engaging in digital PR are going to need to re-look at their KPI and re-look at what it means to measure DPR?
Yes, for sure. Because we even see it ourselves, like some clients coming into us might want more of that kind of traditional, like bigger, more promotional PR that doesn't always hit as quickly and as how we operate. So sometimes you do need to kind of like go a little bit broader with the relevance, as we kind of mentioned earlier as well. But still keeping it relevant and as tight as you can.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, definitely in terms of general kind of KPI, and whilst we're sticking to the links as you've got to keep that key deliverable, it's super noticeable in both our own sort of SEO predictions for where the industry's going in 2026. Generally, what we saw in 2025, like brand is everything now, and the idea of AI caring so much more about brand, about, to go into the weeds, kind of the semantic SEO side of things, but that idea of building a brand context, that's what we're doing with the sort of the brand building services, where we're getting those mentions of this company is the best at this specific product, this specific service, and then we're sort of seeing that really building into the DPR now, aren't we?
Yeah, for sure. And I really think the likes of expert commentary has made it super, super helpful with that, because being really like forward with your brand and getting into the space isn't just talking about like your new product or something super promotional for you. Like, you're still giving yourself that boost and positioning yourself as an expert. If it's slightly wider, like if you're a storage expert and you're commenting on other storage stories that might not be directly related to your products and what you're doing right now, it's still kind of helping with that boost. So
Absolutely.
I think it's good to keep.
Yeah, I mean, we see those kind of the angles where it would be, you know, something newsworthy coming up with the housing market, and short storage might not directly be it, but what are people doing when they move in? They're getting the storage, so being able to bring them in as the experts. And again, I think it's kind of leading nicely onto what I believe will be the kind of final prediction, but that idea, that touch of humanity to it in building the experts, and that's what the journalists really need to see now. I personally I've seen some fantastic posts on LinkedIn really digging into the effects of fake experts and how essentially journalists are being sort of conned by fake expert profiles, fake AI profiles, how big a network that can be, and then how damaging that can be for the sort of trust barriers between your DPRs and your journalists.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I think we've seen it even being called out in the press recently, that the people that are doing this, they're kind of ruining it for everybody with all of these AI experts. But I think journalists, they weren't born yesterday. Like, they know to do their kind of fact checking, whether it's the digital PRs LinkedIn to know that they're a legitimate person tied to this, like whether they look up the actual spokesperson themselves. Sometimes they'll even ask, and they have like a quick 2 or 3 minute interview on the phone with some of them. So it's kind of leading that way. And I do think that's why relationships are becoming more and more of an advantage to people that have been in the industry now. And I'm not talking like, so like, I'm not based in the UK, I'm based in Spain. So I can't ring up my favorite journalist and say, let's go for a coffee. I know that's how some journalists do operate still in the UK and stuff. But I'm talking like interact with their LinkedIn posts, send them legitimate content that you back yourself. Like, don't put your name to something that you don't fully invest in, and just keep showing up, like not in a way that would annoy people, and like not 6-7 times a day, but like show up for the right journalists. Make sure you do your bit of research on them. Don't be sending them irrelevant stuff. And like, sometimes it hits, sometimes it misses, but I feel you do a good job when the journalist is actually pitching back to you, like, oh, maybe we could go one step further, or even without having any contact with them, they'll reach out to you down the line and say, have you a client in this space? So I feel like that's a big, massive advantage to us at the moment, for sure.
Also, absolutely. I mean, again, to sort of summarize into sort of pithy takeaway of that, relationships are going to be the advantage, would you say, sort of for being that provable? You can go out and sort of do it solo, maybe once or twice, but having that repeatability, it's just going to come off them building that relationship with you for them and your different clients.
At the risk of sounding like really repetitive as everyone else is at the moment, like authenticity is the most important thing in this age of AI, like genuinely. I think you just need to keep showing up, like add your LinkedIn profile into your email, sign off with them, like let them know you're a real person, let them know that like you're trying to work in harmony together, not spam them with fake ChatGPT content.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's probably slightly strange in terms of kind of predictions going for 2026, considering how much AI is prediction for most things. Or it's almost like, here from talking with you, it sounds almost like the prediction is the move away from AI in a way. Like, I'm sure AI will be great for helping you scale your outreach, but you have to keep that kind of human core to it, is what I'm kind of getting here, at least from talking with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, like we do use AI for certain elements and stuff like that for like research purposes and stuff like mundane stuff that it does help us cut down time. But I do think at the end of it all, like you just kind of need to peel it back and be authentic about what you're putting out there to journalists. And I think that's what really is going to set the people apart from other people.
Absolutely, especially sort of linking back to say like your second kind of prediction on having that creativity stand out, and even the first prediction of that sort of performance channel and it being harder to stand out in the reactive space. AI is fantastic, but certainly I'm finding with the content side of things, like you can try AI out and it can turn out a decent blog post, but it's never going to be better than what's already come out. It's never going to be more eye-catching because it can only aggregate, it can't create really.
Literally. And I think when you're reading something that's written by AI, you can really tell the difference between that and between like an actual human having touched the piece. So yeah,
absolutely. I mean, yeah, ultimately I think digital PR is probably going to have, I'm sure you would agree, in terms of what you're seeing solely within the PR space and also bringing in the SEO space, of the impact that it's going to have on wider SEO, wider marketing even, to help build that brand. Now that brand is so important, it's going to be compounding that more and more and more businesses. We're seeing it with customers that might start with just a little kind of link building. They're realizing, they're bringing in, right, okay, but we also need to become more known, especially now that as AI is going agentic even, so it's bypassing websites. You need to build that profile, and DPR is such a good way of doing that.
Yeah, it really positions brands in exactly where they need to be, as long as it's super relevant for them.
Yeah, I mean, getting those amazing website links, I mean, it's what SEO was aiming for anyway. But if you can go out and get a DR90 odd behemoth and get you some Forbes coverage, or mail coverage, wherever, it's amazing really for both sides, isn't it?
Honestly, not even to sound showy, but I'm actually sick of seeing Forbes links come through, and it's not the same journey. But I think it is just because we have that kind of relationship with them now, which is crazy, because Forbes was always like one of my dream tiers. Like, yeah, honestly, like, yeah, Forbes for everyone.
Awesome. Well, as far as a 2026,
I'm not promising that in case someone comes to support.
As far as a 2026 prediction goes, Forbes for everyone. That's a hell of a thumbnail I could put up now.
Oh, please don't. They'll be coming for me.
Okay, so just in quick summary there, really, even if it's not direct kind of AI integration, I think it's definitely touching on a lot. But the summary is that PR is going to split into two channels, sort of the brand campaign and the performance campaigns. The creativity is going to take off, but measurement is really going to be where it's at. Yeah, the ability to kind of measure the impact of the PR campaigns, and then also find your final prediction of relationships. Just that will be, they're the hardest bit to scale, but the relationships are going to be the thing that matter the most at scale.
Exactly. I think we've definitely seen over time, like, how technology has changed so much, and then the one thing that is constant is your relationships with people. Like, not just to strip everything back, like, but it kind of, they will withstand, I think, this kind of age of fake writers and fake DPRs and all of this. I think that's going to be the standout point.
Awesome. Well, thank you ever so much again for your time here. I think it'd be super interesting to see how it will go across 2026, and maybe even check back in and sort of see what the DPR landscape has become by the end of the year, even or throughout. And I'm sure we'll have plenty more wins up as well on the channel.
Exactly. You love to see it.
We do indeed. But yeah, thank you ever so much again.
No, thanks for having me.
So there you have it. Leah's predictions for the future of digital PR for SEO in 2026. Where do you see digital PR and its effects on SEO heading in the coming year? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to check out our Done For You digital PR campaigns, all spearheaded by Leah herself. You can find out all about them, plus past client success stories, over on the fatjoe website. Remember to subscribe for more great content on digital PR, SEO, AI SEO, and more. Stay optimized and stay visible.